Hi, this is Daniel J. King demonstrating my game prototype Field of Cures. This is version 0.3, it's a work in progress. Field of Cures is a game about science, meant to introduce the player to concepts in genetics, the clinical trials process, and issues in research ethics and biodiversity conservation. It's designed as a mobile, casual game. Right now it exists as a PC desktop demo that you can download and try. It runs from level 1 to level 5. I'm going to play a little bit of level 5 just to demonstrate the basic features of the game. So the game is centered around learning goals, which are tied to short, medium, and long-term game goals. The short-term goal is to crossbreed a specific flower. For example, I can take pollen from this flower and pollinate and harvest this flower, and then I can plant the seeds and see what I got. So in harvest flower mode, there's an overlay that highlights flowers with the correct color traits that you're looking for. The target flower in this case is purple and red. So as I go to different fields, it'll highlight ones that are red and ones that are purple. When you go to collect pollen mode, it's showing flowers that are carrying a recessive type gene. This simply means that this flower is expressed as this bell-shaped flower, but it's carrying a gene for the pinwheel flower. So when I do this, I get different types of offspring, and that is elaborated with these Punnett squares over here. Alright, but moving right along, the target right now is this purple-red ladder plant, which is what it's called in the game world. So let me go over here, get pollen from a red flower, then I'll go find a purple ladder plant. I'll plant these guys. None of these are the correct type of flower, though they have the correct colors. However, they're all carrying that recessive trait, so there we go. I'm going to need a lot more than that to get enough samples. Luck of the draw, though. So the reason that I need to collect a certain number of samples is that I'm in the middle of running a clinical trial for a medicine made out of these flowers. Let's see. I think I should have enough now. If I just harvest the rest of these, it's filling up the flask over here. So if we go into the clinical trials screen, we can see I'm in the middle of trying to cure a disease. My hypotheses are up here. I've already eliminated this one. This one's active. I passed the pilot study already. And then there are two tracks. There's basically bad science, good science. Over here, RCT is for randomized controlled trial. It's just the gold standard scientific study. Takes more resources, takes longer, more difficult to do. Then there's what I'm calling a spin study option, which is simply we're going to manipulate the research to achieve statistical significance without necessarily achieving clinical significance. So for demonstration purposes, let's do this one. Right. So every time a clinical trial is running, we go into this mini game where you just have to sell flowers with certain traits to cover operating costs while you're waiting for trial results. So we're looking for violet, yellow, ladder. Alright, let's go. Now I could just sell individual plants with one of these traits, earning 1 point at a time. That's not very efficient, so instead, let's see if I can't mix it up. Now these ones are going to be worth 2 points each. Yeah, that's nice. That's a pretty good clip. It would be ideal if it was exactly what I was looking for, but I can easily pass this stage just based on this. Alright, so I got through that. Now we get to analyze the results. Okay, passed the spin study. That's not a surprise since the spin study is designed to be passed. So now I have the option to sell this unproven drug. and see if it works as sort of a unethical natural experiment, or it can always still go and run an RCT. Again, for demonstration purposes, not something I endorse in real life, I'm going to sell the improvement drug. Oh no, I sold the public a drug that does not work. That's bad. That's extremely harmful, and one of the central arguments of the game is that you should do rigorous science, you should not take shortcuts. Alright, so, and then in this case, we just have to start over with another hypothesis. So, the medium-term goal of the game is to discover a cure by going through this process until something gets all the way through the trials. It's teaching about the clinical trials process, essentially just a process of trial and error, which can be done more or less rigorously. The long-term goal of the game, every time you pass a stage, you unlock a new area of the world with new native species of plants. And every now and then you'll get to choose to develop one of these sections. You can make it a nature reserve to increase its biodiversity, or you can put a factory there, a research lab there, or you can just make a really nice villa for yourself, depending on what victory condition you're going for. But what you'll find out is that if you develop a section of the world, if you eliminate the natural landscape, you are eliminating those native species from your game world. So in the future, if it comes up that you need a certain type of flower, and you've dropped a factory on its habitat, you don't get to have that flower anymore. So what it's teaching the player here is that natural biodiversity is a kind of a living reservoir of medicinal compounds that we need to protect. I wanted to make a game that connected conservation to medicine, because there is a real life connection there, but it's not an obvious one people might think of. Alright, that's as far as I've built for now. Many of you watching probably already realized that I could use some help with user experience design and player experience design. If this concept inspires you at all, you can learn more. You can reach out to me at fieldofcures.com. There will be a link to download this demo there. And thank you very much for watching. Again, this is Daniel J. King, a PhD student in the University of Central Florida Text and Technology program. And this is my prototype Field of Cures version 0.3. Thank you.